Ripple FX.
Episode 24.
We are talking about social media today and specifically repurposing your content so that you can have more time back. And we are actually talking about this because it is Women's History Month, and we serve as female entrepreneurs, and a lot of times we see that they start their business to have more freedom, and what happens is they end up in a hamster wheel of creating content.
I like this topic. I have a question.
Yes.
Can you tell me what you're seeing with the women that you're working with now?
Yeah, I actually just got done hosting a social media planning party, and I'm going to be speaking on this topic as well with our virtual monthly podcasting meetups. And so a lot of women are feeling overwhelmed with just keeping up with all the platforms and comparing themselves to what other people are doing on social media, and also worrying about being perfect and having this perfectionism come out as well, which is preventing them from sharing about their business.
Do you find that slows them down, the comparison?
Yeah, I do. And I feel like the system I have come up with and we've been using for our own content and also for our clients helps to just have a system to follow and sort of bring the joy of creating back again and get out of that comparison mode.
Nice. So walk me through the system. What does it look like?
Okay, so it is a 3-step framework, and the first part is auditing what you have. And so that could mean, looking at your camera roll or your notes app, looking at content that has already performed well for you on social media. If you have a podcast, looking at your episodes that have gotten you the most traction. And just knowing that those are all places to pull from and reuse.
I use this personally with my music account, but we do this very well with our business account because as we travel and as we explore new places and do new things, we're documenting, and it's not always for content. But when I need to find something or to post something, I don't just post to post, but if I have a meaningful clip to repurpose and tie it into my content, it works really well, and it's so low lift, not much energy.
Yeah, you do a really good job of repurposing for YouTube Shorts.
Thank you.
Shout out to you.
No, okay.
Yeah. And I think, when you are just going about your day-to-day life and you are like, oh, you're going to record a podcast episode, you remember to take a selfie or take a photo with your guest, or you're going on a walk and you take a picture of some beautiful bird. Like, you have all this content collected and you have the memory of it, but then you also get to go back and reuse that for social media content.
Nice.
Yeah. So the second part is aligning with your goals. So once you've audited and you kind of see you have the lay of the land, what you have to use, you want to think about what are your goals for quarter 2. And it is the end of quarter 1 now, we're approaching. And so this is a good time to kind of reassess what you've done in quarter 1 and think about how you want to show up in quarter 2. If you're launching something new, maybe you have a new service or offering, or maybe you're just working on growing your audience, or you want to just show up consistently with your content. So think about one goal that you have for quarter 2. And this third part, the last part of this, is repackaging it creatively. And so, for example, some things that we do for our clients is take their long format content and turn it into weeks of visibility. So we take their podcast episode and we snip it up into video segments using Riverside or Descript, CapCut, and those tools really help you be more efficient with your video editing as well.
I like this framework because, as I mentioned before, sometimes I'm pressed for time, sometimes we're traveling, and I don't have the capacity to create brand new, fresh content. But also, I don't like to post just to post. So I audit what I have, which is a lot. Sometimes it's just random things. But then I align it with my goals. And having a content calendar and having goals around that makes it easier to drag and drop these seemingly disconnected pieces of content into something that's cohesive. And then I repackage it creatively. Sometimes I may use the same piece of content or the same clip, or I may have a same point of view repurposed different ways. But I find new ways to creatively share this story. And sometimes I do it intuitively, but I love that you have this framework to define it so people can actually use this, because it's so simple once you get the hang of it, and then it becomes easy and then a part of your content.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking about there's so many ways to repurpose content, but something that you did is I had a blooper in an episode and I said it like after we were done recording, and then you used that blooper, which was like, not something I would have necessarily used, but you used it in your music, and that was really cool. So there's so many ways to view repurposing your content.
Yes. Shout out to Trip and Chill 3, streaming now. Track number 5, Love Under Will, if you want to know what she's talking about. It's at the very end of the track.
Yeah.
Let us know if you listen.
And I'm going to talk about another example of how you can repurpose. So let's say you had a reel that performed really well on Instagram and you want to reuse that. So you could just repost it. And especially if it was posted like maybe 3 to 6 months ago, just reposting that same video. Maybe you change the cover, maybe you change the caption, but you repost the same video. That's a form of repurposing. You could also use that same video, but maybe you add a segment that was cut off. Maybe you trim part of it. So just the same concept, just tweaked a little bit. And that's another way to repurpose it.
That's great.
Yeah. And I think that's pretty much it for the repurposing framework. Really, this helps you to have a system to constantly be reusing and resharing the same message in different ways with different formats, and just not having to reinvent the wheel, not using so much of your brain energy and your time, which is really valuable, but you just have a system to know what you're going to post, know where it's going, know which format, you know what's performing well already, so it's high impact content and
low lift.
Yeah, low lift. And you can just have the time back to have conversations with potential clients or work on, business development, all these other things that you can be spending your time on.
And if you are struggling with finding ways to repurpose content, implementing content calendars, and all the like, you know where to find us.
Yes.
Which is where?
Waveenterprise.co. And we offer a monthly social media consult where we can actually help you to come up with these ideas personalized to your niche and give you video scripts and give you areas where you can pull from. So we're here to help if you are ready to invest in something like that.
Banger.
Okay.
Ways don't die.
Yeah, that wraps it up.
That wraps it up.
Yeah. All right. See you.
Peace.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in to the Ripple FX podcast. If you want more about connection, social media, podcasting, and life abroad, make sure to follow us on Instagram at Wave Enterprise Co.
I'm Lawrence.
And I'm Gina.
And we help female-owned wellness brands with podcasts and social media.
And remember, waves don't die.
Peace.